Malaysian Chinese living and working in London for the last 40 years. So if I sound confusing, that's because of my heritage, okay? I wanted to share with you, reflecting on how we teach management, and in particular, whether we take into account the notion of spirituality, okay? In management studies, we tend to think of underpinning theories. And I think as a young man, when I was growing up, I did the normal business degrees, I did the MBA, and I also then went to, can you hear me better now? Yes? No? Okay. Okay. It's very difficult for me to know if you can hear me, so if you wave, if you can hear me. Good, excellent. If you don't wave, I'll wake you up, okay? So you better pay attention because I will ask questions later, okay? No, that's a joke, okay? So if I go back to the idea about management studies, okay? As a young man growing up, there were analogies that were drawn to the use of management strategies, and in particular to such things as The Art of War by Sun Tzu, which was something that I was quite interested in. But over time, I've actually realized that it's actually quite negative because it associates the notion of management and management studies to war. Because in my mind, actually management studies today is really about people development. I came across the Gita and its notion of effectiveness and efficiency, okay? And that really transformed my thinking and moved me towards looking for an ideology and a belief that was beyond just a Western mindset, okay? Perhaps the best way to think about this would be really about the person that we are and what companies and managers do, okay, in terms of spirituality. None so in the last 10 years, none so for me in my work in entrepreneurship, and I got to know Paul Perazora, who will speak later, about the importance of ensuring that there are ethical beliefs and ethical approaches, really a value system. The question, therefore, would be where those values come from. From my perspective, it's really also about work-life balance. If we look at today's society, and I understand that, that my generation, okay, believe that the younger generation have a disconnect because of the use of technology. But I'm actually led to believe that this may not be true, that the way they connect is no longer the same as previous generations. Perhaps we need to rethink through how to remake or rekindle this connection, and whether this connection can be done through a series of contemplations, okay, a series of reflections, as the speakers before me have indicated, should really be, I think, perhaps the way forward. There is also the notion about mental issues, the stresses that are placed upon the next generation, and more importantly, about the belief of entitlement. And I think this is where we have, as educators, a great role to play, okay? I want to end my talk about leadership and what leadership means, not in the traditional sense, but leadership in terms of having the right spiritual focuses and reflecting on how, okay, we as leaders should be perceived by the next generation. This is perhaps the connection that we can make, okay? Thank you very much for having me. I'm going to hand over to my colleagues now, okay? Thank you.